Welcome to the Full Circle podcast with Julie, Glenn, and Phil. You are now tuned in to the Full Circle frequency.
Hello and welcome to the Full Circle podcast. It is day 2 at the Mansfield Mind, Body, Spirit with Northstar Crystals and Eric. It's open. We are open. Yeah. It's 10 o'clock. People are coming in. It's going to be a really busy day today. We've got some really good demonstrations to attend today. We've got Jan Muse here today, haven't we? So
that's going to be
interesting. She's been on the podcast, hasn't she?
Yeah. She has, yeah. We've got drumming as well in the moment, so we're going to head over to there in a minute and film a bit of that for you all. Djembe drumming, so different form of drumming, but very high vibrational. So we're looking for that, excited to do that.
Yeah, I think we're still a bit high on the energies.
We are,
yesterday.
yeah. I'm trying to get my words together. It's like, what?
Yeah, and I've lost my voice. Well, it's still there at the minute, but
just a bit low today.
A bit croaky.
Yeah.
Too much talking, clearly, and stuff.
So we
can't get a word in with you, Julie. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Really?
We're going to get. She was that chatty yesterday, interviewing herself.
It was like having Zippy at the side of you.
Yeah.
So, let's get cracked on. We've got some fab interviews for today. There's one person that I want to interview, and she does Celtic Reiki. So I'm really interested in interviewing her today. Got the Woodland Trust here today to talk to.
Yeah.
No, she's very nice.
Well, I spoke to the lady yesterday, so that'd be nice to get an interview from them.
And I think at some point today we'll get hold of Eric again. So
yes, definitely.
To take us out, yeah. So we'll keep you updated, as always.
Fabulous. See you all soon.
See you in a minute.
See you later. Bye.
See ya.
So this is how we find out if we've got rhythm in our bodies. Okay, so we clap here like this, all at the same time. clap goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so 4, 3, 2. And now, we do it like this. We do this. Are you ready? Taught to me by a Gambian dancer. If you want to look at his name's Nandi Mani, and he's from London. So this is the words. Can you say Ole Leila? Ole Leila. Ole Leila. Ole Leila. Oh Mama Ole Leila. Oh Mama Ole Leila. Okay. So 3 sections of some harmonies going on here. Okay. So we've got this one here, that one there, that one there. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, we'll bring this song in as we play. So can we all do this? Okay, you don't have to because you guys have got that. Okay, so we're going to put our hands together like this. Okay. stop. Don't be shy. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Shake hands. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we have this side, that side, and that side. Okay. So this side is going to say ole le la. Can you say ole le la? Ole le la. This side is going to say oh mama ole le la. Oh mama ole le la. And that side, I will show you. I'll tell you you're with me. They're on their own. You got me. Okay. So this side goes like this. Oh le le la. 2, 3, 4. Oh le le la. Are you confident? Again. Oh, le le la. There's a gap, then you go. Oh, le le la. There's a gap, then you go. Oh, le le la. If you need to clap, put a clap in there. Oh, le le la. Nice and loud. Oh, le le la. So we're going to go like this. Oh, le le la. Oh, la la. Oh, le le la. Oh, la la. Oh, le le la. Nice and loud. So that side goes, oh lady la, oh lady la. And after they say that, you want to come in with that response. Oh mama, oh lady la. Okay, so just get this one here like this. Oh mama, oh lady la. Oh mama, oh lady la. So they don't let us sing it, oh mama, oh lady la. Yeah. Oh mama, oh lady la. 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 Sing it. Oh,
on the back the name of the room and the English corresponding letter. So I'm passing this around because I personally think this was a great idea. To get yourself started, to start building up your muscle memory, as it were. So, take a photo of them and have a think about making your own set. Because I'm not bothered by that, because for me, making your own set gives it more power when you come to do reading. Okay. So the purpose of these sets that I've put around, you can buy them if you want, but they're more for you to look at, feel with, familiarise yourself with throughout the talk. Okay? So, let me get started. Introduce myself first, that would be a good idea. So, I am Bonus Dora. Well, I am, of course, very obviously, Gypsy descent.
Comprehensive version of this talk today.
My personal journey brought me to the rooms when a fellow pagan dumped a bag in my lap and said, learn them. Don't read about them, certainly don't read anything on Ralph Bloom, we won't go there, but learn about them yourself. So, grab myself a notebook, which is the most important thing in any journey. Notebook and pen, journaling. Do feel free to sit down. Oh no, you're with them in now. No worries. So I also, over the years, have come up with a little method that I think is quite purposeful that I want to share with you. Keep it simple, first of all. Don't push it. Don't force yourself, because sometimes this system of divination, the runes or the tarot, it is not for you, because if you're not connecting with it, move on to another one. Don't try and force the connection, because there's so many different systems and tools out there: crystal balls, tea leaves, palm reading, runes, Ogham, which is the journey I'm currently on, and so many of them out there. You too will click, because when I found the runes, everything clicked. So, my little method is called the CRIB method. CRIB stands for courage, the courage to just get going. The courage to not rely on Google or books, look at the shape of the rune, look at the name of the rune, turn it around, and write down everything it reminds you of or makes you feel. Please join in, ladies, you're fine, it's alright. I've put some sets of runes around for people to share, to familiarise yourself with them. So just grab a seat and come and join in. So the next part is the respect. Respect what you're doing, and part of that respect is learning about where they came from. Because that's kind of where I started. Rather than reading about the runes, I read about Old Norse society, which is where they come from. They come from the Scandinavians, the Vikings, if you like. I looked at their society, I looked into their myths and legends, and considered how the runes gained their magic, as it were, because it's also a writing system. And actually, it was through writing in runes that helped me familiarise myself with the shape of the runes. By the way, so that's another good one to bear in mind. And this is a society that doesn't even know what literacy is. People just didn't read and write. That was really just the elites or the priests or the witches, the sort of higher ups in society. So for those ordinary common folk, these symbols are very magical. I mean, if you can take yourself back there, you can imagine just how strange it was. It's kind of like looking at Japanese or Russian. It's a very strange thing to see, And so I believe that in a time of limited science, they gained their magic through superstition. So that respect part and looking at the history is that bit. And the next part is intent or intentions, Is anybody not okay with swearing? Because I do use kind of common language. Everybody good with that? So don't fuck around with them. Take them seriously, it's because they are a serious thing, do you know what I mean? Because they were very valuable to the people who originally used them, So, they do ensure that your intent is to do something worthwhile with them. There is so much deeper and more advanced things you can do with them. I will get onto that briefly at the end. So the runes themselves really do intertwine with so many other things. Some of the runes relate to certain tarot cards and other symbol systems like the Ogham or Ogham, also known as the Celtic runes or the tree oracle. And so that's the intent part. And the balance is to always make sure that you do not push yourself, and if you're doing a reading for someone, take some time to re-energize, because you're connecting with a very ancient energy. So that is my crib method, and you know, it works for me. So there are 24 runes, which also happens to be the number of discs in the human spine, which I always found quite an interesting connection. I have weird things like that. They're separated into 3 groups of 8 called ets or sets. The more advanced part of it is when you look at what each of these groups sort of represent. And I won't go into that now because I think it will just confuse you. But there is a lot to it. And they're called the most notable, the most well-used one is called the Elder Futhark. They're called the Futhark because of the first 8 runes spell out Futhark. So that was one that I found interesting. So to get started with how to read them, because I've gone through the history and everybody with me so far. Brilliant. Any questions so far? Okay. So I start with the first rune, and as you are learning your runes, I definitely suggest just come on in, darling. Don't worry, you're not interrupted. There's one going around for a more comprehensive workshop via email. By the way, if you want to get yourself hold of that, there's sets of runes for people to have a look at, familiarise themselves with, etc. So the first rune that you will likely go for, because why not start at the start, is this one here. Can everyone see it? I'll stand up so you can see that a little bit. Okay. And this one is Fehu. Now, I don't know if you can see the little dotted lines that I've done on the other side, but if you can envision those same lines going on the other side, what does that look like to you? Don't overthink it. Tree, plant. Yeah.
Antenna. I saw arrow.
Arrow. Antenna. Okay, who's right? Absolutely brilliant. Because that is the most important part of this, is your connection with it. Okay. So the original meaning for this is cattle. That is what the Old Norse put on this rune. And for those that said tree, etc., it's not to say you weren't on the right line there, because that's another layer, you know, that it could mean you've got to fight your way to it, you know, and we'll get to that in a moment. So how do cattle exist? How do they live, you know? They have to be nourished. So the idea of it being a plant or a grain of grass, that feeds the animal that creates life, if you know what I mean. To give the example of how to apply it to modern questions or messages, we take the example, say this couple here, they're my neighbours, and they've got like 4 cows, and they just bought another one because they had a really good crop last year. But I've only got 3 because one of my cows died because I didn't have a very good crop last year. So to everybody here, who's more successful?
Nobody.
Well, they are. You know, because they've had a successful year, but I haven't. So taking that energy of they're better off than me gives you an idea of how this could answer a modern question. So for example, with a business question, should I expand? And you just pull one rune out, and it's this rune. Well, the short answer would be, well, yes, because it shows success. But this is where we get to the connection you made. Because once you've familiarised yourself with one rune at a time, move on to 3 runes to answer a question, okay? Does everybody want to come up and do a little demo? Come on over, fella. Yeah? Now this is my personal set that I paid a lot of money for, made out of pure copper, so they are quite powerful. So this is the larger runes are better for this kind of reading. I'm going to get on to the other kind in a moment. So just pull yourself out 3 runes from in there. I'll just pass you ladies this set. It seems to be spare so you can familiarise yourself with what they look like in the section. Oh, that is it looks like a DNA strand, right? So it's a deep connection. It originally meant to evolve in, so it's a fertile idea that has a long-term effect. Very positive. So if you've got any ideas or goals that you just keep coming back to, you keep thinking that because it's never going to go Right, so, sorry I just got distracted there. The first one, that was this one, right? That one, right, and the second one was so the first rune, and again this is the way the Norse read it, it's almost back to front. The first rune is the answer. The answer is, how do you get there? The second rune is the journey. And the third rune represents the blockage, the why you can't, okay? So we'll bear in mind Fehu. Say Fehu is involved in this, if you know what I mean. You pulled out Fehu and now you need more information. Because Fehu says, yeah, you could be successful. But the answer is Norwich, which is, and by the way, this is not me demonstrating my skill. This is me demonstrating to you how to do it, okay? Because I'm not here to prove myself, I'm here to help you. Okay, so if you have any questions throughout, do put up your hands. So Norwis is this rune, which is the original meaning was need or necessity. So the answer would be you're not, you need to do more, because this is kind of like you need more type thing. You need to do more in order to get to Fehu. Yeah. So the journey to that, Isa is the rune of ice, stillness, stagnancy. But also in a positive way, if you pull it out in terms of mental health, it means peace. If you think of winter and how you feel looking out on a winter day, it's very peaceful, you know. But then when you step out into a winter day, it's very cold. So it's your instinct as to which of those energies it's relating to. And in terms of getting to Fehu and you needing to do more, that means you've taken too long a break. So it's time to get going, okay? And the blockage is, Lagus it means lake, so it relates to water. And this is where researching the whole picture comes in. Water in the pagan sense, are there any pagans here? Do you know what water represents?
Life and
emotions. Yeah, and also fluidity, you know, because water is supposed to flow. And so the blockage is you're not letting it flow. You're focusing too much on your fears, and in order to get to where you need to be, you need to release those fears, melt the water or melt the ice into the water. You see what I mean? Okay.
that makes sense actually.
It usually does.
Thank you all for coming. I'm Angela. I work for Phoenix Flames, and I've seen most of you at my stall at some point throughout this weekend, I think, already, which is probably why you're sitting in front of me right now. So I am Angela, and I am a witch. Okay? A lot of people say to me, are you a black witch or a white witch? To me, there's no such thing. You have to be balanced. You have to be grey and in the middle. Okay? Not saying I'm going to hex you all by the time you walk out, because that's not my way. Okay? I don't ever do anything to hurt people. I might nibble you on a little bit just to get your blood, but that's about it. Okay? So, I'm talking about spell work today. I'm just going to push this chair back a bit because it's going to annoy me. I can't stand still. So I'm going to be talking about spell work today. I'm going to be talking about the process of divining your own spells and making your own spells, and then the process of how to use other people's stuff within your spell work. Because spell work is really, really simple or really, really complicated. So it can be as simple as you make it or as complicated as you make it. Alright? So if you want to put some real power and real energy into it, add more and more pieces to it, basically. Which makes it more complicated, because then you've got to go and get more pieces. Okay? So how many of you here have actually done any spell work before? Just a show of hands. Yay! Good work. A fair few of you, that's always great. So the rest of you have never worked with any sort of magical spell work before? Okay. Well, we're going to learn today then. Let's roll up our sleeves, let's get going, shall we? So, there's various different types of spell work you can create. You can be as creative and as imaginative as you possibly want to be. You can get a piece of paper, draw a circle on it, and say, I want to be continuous in my path. It can be as simple as that. I've literally just made that up off the top of my head. So, but that's what I mean. When you're creative with spell work, you can create any spell and make it yours. Spell work is all about your intent. The tools you use just add that extra power, add that extra oomph. And it kind of gets you complete on your cycle of what you're doing. So, you can use paper, you can use herbs. These little pots that we make are little spells in a jar, basically. And I've got here jinx removing and bam bam. So they both do different things. Jinx removing obviously removes any negativity or anything that's been thrown at you with intention. That's basically what a jinx is. You're throwing it at someone with an intention. I wouldn't ever recommend doing that to anybody because at some point it's going to come back and nick you in the bum. Bomb that was supposed to be, not bomb. It was a long day yesterday. Bam Bam is purely for intention. You put your own intent into this. So that is your magical word to work with. Okay? Just telling you what they are because those are the two that I've grabbed. So you can use herbs for spell work. You can create your own spell work. You can create it like a herbal incense, or you can use herbs to emphasise something else. Okay? So say for example, our candles that we make, we put essential oils in these. Essential oils come from herbs. Okay? We also have an anointment oil, which we use herbs and essential oils to make those anointment oils. So candle magic is a piece of spell work. And once again, it's one of the easiest pieces of spell work you can create. You can buy other spell work like this. This has got all the essential oils and everything in there you need for this to work. So we also make these, but I'm not here to tell you my products today, I'm here to tell you about spell work. But I'm just using my products to show you what can be done with your own imagination, your own creativity. Okay? There is also anointment oils in their own right. You can make your own anointment oils using a base oil, adding essential oils, you've got your own anointment oil. You can add your own herbs and leave them to simmer in there for a while, do you know what I mean? Just sit around and let the oils of the herbs release in the oils. So it takes a while for that to happen, but it does happen eventually. But those are anointment oils. So you use different pieces of spell work in different ways. If I want something quick and effective, I'll grab a white candle and I'll light that candle with my intent straight away and just send it out into the universe to do what it needs to do. So if I want something quickly got rid of, for example, you just had an argument with somebody, you want to get rid of something really, really quickly, you just think, I want to do it and I want to leave it. White candle, I want to get rid of the negativity from the argument that's just been created. Light the candle, pull it down in your candle, let it go, let it burn all the way down. Really quick, really simple, really easy. If I wanted to add to that, I could draw some sigils onto the candle. Does everybody know what a sigil is? It's basically a sign. So you can create your own sigil. So for me, for example, if I wanted to banish negativity, I could literally imagine what negativity feels like to me, and I always feel it as a negative sign for some reason. So I'd draw a negative sign, and then I might put my initials on it because I want to banish my negativity. So I put my initials over the top of the negative sign, which for me is AJB. My dad's is FAB, and he is pretty fat. Okay, so I would put AJB over the top. I then might think I want that concluded, so I'll draw a whole circle in it around the outside. That is a sigil. You've created your own sigil. You've put your own energy into that, your own power into that sigil. That is your sigil then. And nobody's going to know what that sigil represents, but you do. So if anybody finds that sigil, they're just going to think it's a load of scribblings on a bit of paper. But you can actually put that sigil into the candle. Okay? You can put herbs around the base of the candle. You can put oils on the candle, then roll it in herbs. You can add crystals to the candle, which emphasises the power again. If you're doing something with emotions, you can get some water and add some water around the base of the candle. Water represents emotions when you work with water as an element. Alright, that's why I'm saying that. So there's ways you can use different types of water as well. Our sprays that we do, we use storm water, sea water, moon water, new and full moon water. We've also got some snow water that we use in some of them, which are very infrequent that we actually make them because we don't often get snow. So, I can't imagine snow, unfortunately. I can make ice, but not snow. So you can use different types of things for different types of spell work. So you then come on to what else you can use. So you've got your physical tools. What else can you use? You can set your circle. You set your circle. You can use a wand to set your circle. You can use a wand to call in your elements. Okay? Not everybody needs a fancy wand. If you're out in nature and you think, I want to set a circle really quick just to ground myself, we all have a wand. And I am using this finger, by the way. There's children in the room. Okay? But I do quite like the physical tool because I'm quite a physical person. So I do quite like using a physical wand because I can imagine the energy coming out the end better to set your circle. Okay? And if you do, not everybody sets a circle, but I do quite like setting a circle if I'm doing a more in-depth spell work because it keeps all that energy contained in that space until you're ready to release it. Alright? And you actually feel the energy building up. You can chant. Everybody's got a voice. Whether it's in great tune like mine, really bad. And if any of you have been in the stall today, we are in a musical today. We keep breaking out into song for no reason at all. But neither of us got a really good voice. So, but you can chant, you can sing, you can dance, you can build the energy up with drums, you can build the energy up with whatever you choose to build the energy up with. And if you're building it up within a circle, it's going to contain all that energy in that circle. Does anybody know how to draw a circle? Does anybody want me to show them? Yeah. All of you. So, would you come and help me, darling? Would you come and help me? So what I want you to do is I just want you to hold the wands like that, and I want you to go round me in a circle. Okay? It's the other way. Great. Go round clockwise, in a circle all the way round, watch the end of the wand. And as she goes round, you usually ask for the circle to be open. Yeah? Do you want to go round again? Can we please open this circle and contain all the energy within?
So say it, right? Say it, open the circle.
Can we open the circle? That's all you need to say.
Say it loud, come on.
Yay! Thank you very much. A big round of applause for them. So I'm not getting out of this circle now, so I can't move. And she's made it really tiny, so I can't move anymore. Because why would you want to be outside the energy? It just doesn't make sense. So literally, it's really as simple as that. You can use what words you want. You make up your words and use your words and do it with intent. And Emily did an amazing job because I can feel that energy coming through already. That was really intent. A lot of intent there. So that is as simple as opening a circle. So it's opening a circle to energy. Okay? And at the end, we go the reverse way round, which I'll get Emily to do at the end as well, if you don't mind. And we'll get her to close the circle, which is closing the circle to the energy, which means it releases all that energy that was in the circle and it releases it in a big, powerful whoosh. Okay? You all with me so far? Fabulous. So, You've opened the circle, you're in your circle, you've got all your tools in the circle, which I haven't because I've got to grab them all. And have you noticed I'm really not moving anymore because it's like I'm stuck to the ground. So you've opened your circle, you want to start building up the energy within the circle. So I want us all to devise some sort of chant today that we can use together. Okay? So say we want to do a pushing out peace to the world right now. There's a lot of people that aren't in peace at the moment, so let's push out some peace to the world. So let's have a few words that are just about peace.
Harmony.
Harmony.
Unity.
Unity. Tranquility. Kindness. Love. There we go. Harmony, tranquility, kindness, love. Harmony, tranquility, kindness, love. Who's going to say it with me? You ready? Harmony, tranquility, kindness, love. Harmony, tranquility, kindness, love. Harmony, tranquility, kindness, love. Harmony, tranquility, kindness, love. Did you feel the energy starting to rise then? I'm getting goosebumps up here, by the way. That's how my energy shows. And also, your voices started to rise and you started to feel more and more confident as you were saying it. We've just built the energy up within this room. It's in this circle as well, but we've built this energy up in this room. So that energy is contained within this room now. When we open those doors, all that energy is going to shoot off and give everybody in this building harmony, tranquility, peace, love. I've missed one. Kindness, that's the one. I knew I'd missed one because I counted them on my hands. So that's going to go out into this room and it's going to give everybody that feeling. And they're going to get that oomph when they go out there. So if you suddenly see people sitting on the floor going, I don't know what's just come over me. You've done that. All right. So by building up that energy's now there. It's not going anywhere right now. It's not dissipating. It's still there. You can build that energy up for as long as you feel necessary. Once the energy's built up, you've got your tools of what you wanted to create. Say, for example, you want to make a little jar of spell work. You want to make something for peace. Does anybody know what herbs are good for peace? Lavender. Lavender, great. Chamomile. Any others? Sorry? Cedar's good. That's good. That's good, yeah. They're very sunny, they're very passionate and strong. Rosemary. Use rosemary for anything, pretty much. When you're using it in spell work, it will represent anything. Sorry? Yeah. Rosemary represents everything in spell work, so you can use it for anything. So you've got those 4 or 5 herbs there. You've already got herbs to mix. Those herbs that you had all said, you can pretty much find in gardens. You can find them out and about. You don't need to go and buy an expensive amount of herbs. You don't need to go to a big witchy shop and say, I want to buy 100 grams of your rosemary, please. Because you can go to a supermarket and get it. And if anyone was in my talk yesterday, you'll learn that you can go to a Morrison's car park under the cover of night and chop it out of their gardens. Or you can do it in your neighbours. I would ask your neighbours though before you start climbing over their fences and get into their gardens and chop their rosemary down. Alright, but rosemary and things like that's everywhere, lavender's everywhere, cedar's everywhere. If you go to any graveyard, there's usually cedar planted in graveyards because it brings peace and it brings that connection of how to pass through to the next life and how to deal with grief. That's why cedars are planted in graveyards originally. Okay? So you've got those 4 or 5 herbs, you've done a mix of them, and as you're mixing them, you're putting your intent in again. Now you can just put them in a jar and then go and bury them where you want that peace and harmony to begin. Or you could burn them and put them up into the universe for the universe to take and create that peace and harmony over everyone. Really simple, right? When you break spell work down, it's simple. That's what it is. You can now, if you work with deities, So deities are the gods and goddesses, for anybody that knows. I almost stepped outside the circle then and I was like, no. So deities are the gods and goddesses. I quite like working with deities. One of my favourite ones to work with is Ganesh, because he's quite childlike, he brings out my inner child and he makes me want to play. So when I'm doing spell work with him, it's always fun, it's always abundance, because he is the god of abundance and business and luck. So it's always fun, it's always good for abundance, it's always good for luck, and he always brings out my inner child.
I'm here with Alana and Thomas at the Woodland Trust at the Mind, Body, Spirit show in Mansfield. So how are you this afternoon?
Doing really well, yeah. It's been quite a busy day.
Is it? Yeah. So do you want to tell us a bit about what you're doing with the Woodland Trust? What's your message?
So we're the largest charity in the UK that focuses primarily on woodland conservation. So we have three main strategies. We protect, create and restore woodland spaces. So we donate trees each winter to schools and communities for tree planting.
Wow.
Do you want to continue on the rest of it?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, one of our big things is, protecting what we already have. I mean, the UK's only got 11% tree cover compared to Europe, which is 37%.
Really?
So we're very far behind. So it's all good. We got to plant new trees because we need new woods, but we also have to protect what's still there.
Yeah, because it takes quite a while for a tree to grow.
It takes quite a while, especially ancient woodland. So that's what covers 2% of our country, and that's woods that have been here since the Ice Age, essentially. They've been growing with other fungi and plants and trees together for thousands of years, and that ecosystem has been growing together. It's been, creating different relationships with one another, and once that's gone, you can't plant a new ancient wood.
You can't now.
Yeah, and that's
of course all the animals as well and the wildlife.
Exactly, yeah. That's
their home, isn't it?
HS2, the train line that they wanted to build.
Yeah, there's a lot about that, wasn't there?
They threatened 108 ancient woodlands.
Wow.
So they wanted to knock down 108.
That's a lot,
woodlands,
isn't
which
it?
is a lot, yeah. So part of the Woodland Trust initiative is to use our membership and our members to sign petitions to lobby the government into getting protection for these trees that don't have the same protection rights.
So that they come under a conservation area.
So they've got a conservation status and they're protected. At the minute, you can just get a small fine for knocking a tree down, which to housing developers is just
nothing
a drop
to them.
in the water. So that's something that we
really
do with the
important
trust as well.
work. We need the trees. Trees obviously provide us with oxygen as well.
Yes, and it's great for mental health as well. Having access to green spaces during the pandemic was really important for people. It's great to be in nature, and we don't have a lot of it in this country anymore.
Wow.
So
I'm really shocked at that figure. Actually, I thought it was a lot more.
Yeah.
So 11%, did you say?
And only about 7% of that is in a good ecological condition. The rest of it is like conifer plantations for timber and things like that, which don't really support and house a lot of species. So as part of the Woodland Trust, we manage woodland sites across the UK to make sure that they're in the best condition possible.
That's really good work you're doing there. Wow, didn't realise that at all, so I've learned things there, and our listeners and viewers will learn that too. So can people plant trees, like pay money to plant trees, that kind of thing? Or I'm just in the water there with that one.
Well, I mean, anyone can plant a tree if they want. There's loads out there. I think, what is it we do? You can volunteer with us. We have lots of tree planting initiatives going around the country, so you can get involved in that way. We have different schemes with landowners where we subsidise up to 75% of new trees and hedges that landowners can put into their properties. I think, there's quite a lot of ways to get involved with the trust and with planting trees.
We donate as well, like I said, we donate trees to schools and communities.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that yesterday, didn't you?
So if you want to learn how to do that, if you're a forest school leader or you work with a community of vulnerable adults or anything like that, if you go onto our website, I believe it's the email address is learning at woodlandtrust.org.uk. If you email them, they should be able to point you in the right direction.
Right.
But in general, our website is woodlandtrust.org.uk, and you can become a member on there.
That's where everyone can go if they're
Yes.
interested in getting in
Yes.
contact with you
So
or
it's
they want more
only
information.
it's a minimum of £4 a month, and for every £5 that's donated, we can plant 2 trees. So if you was to donate £5 a month for a year, you'd be planting 24 trees, just passively by donating £5. So.
Fantastic, that's brilliant, thank you so much. So is there any other areas people can find you? Are you on Facebook as well, or
Yes,
any
we're
of the
on
other
Facebook, we're on
platforms?
Instagram. If you come to these kinds of events, the Mind, Body and Spirit events, also we're constantly at markets and festivals and shows, so you can come over and talk to one of us. We're fundraisers with the Woodland Trust, and we'd be able to sign you up in person.
Right, thank you very much. And
course.
final word from Thomas?
Just going to say, it'll be the best thing you do, signing up to the Woodland Trust.
Yeah.
£4 a month, you get to be part of something good, get to plant new trees, save the world, nothing better.
Thank you, and I think I'll end on that note. I can't finish any higher than that, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you all hear me at the back? Yeah, great. Because I'm lousy with microphones, believe me. I tell you honestly, they buzz, I make the most peculiar noises. Mind you, that's natural for me. Right, we're here to talk about remote viewing. Does anybody know anything about remote viewing? Yeah. Basically, what remote viewing is, it is projecting your mind into a place, or sometimes a time, to find an unseen object or subject and give feedback on that to either yourself or to other people. Yeah. First became really well known during the Cold War. Back in 1972, the Russians were apparently doing experiments with ESP and psychokinesis. And the Americans heard about this and decided they were going to carry out their own experiments. And they the CIA set up a research lab in Stanford Research University, I believe it was. Anyway, they did it for about 7 years, and they then didn't want to put any more funding forward because they didn't find they were getting the results they'd hoped for. So they handed it over to the DIA. And the DIA carried on doing the experiments right until 1995, when the whole thing was axed because they couldn't prove that it was actually a recognised paranormal phenomenon. Okay? What it involves, or from my experience what it involves, is looking into things that are at a distance, okay, and being able to tell where that certain thing is. Say, for instance, if someone's got a box of jewellery, and I can see it in a certain drawer in a certain piece of furniture, and I can actually go into that piece of furniture, I can open the box, and I can look inside and I can tell you what items are inside it. Okay? That is my personal experience of it. Okay? Having said that, I have also found that it can work by going back in time and seeing things that were at a different time and place. As in, I can describe people's houses, tell you exactly what was in the houses and where it was in the house, and with a certain degree of accuracy. Okay? The thing is, I can't always be 100% sure it's going to happen. And somebody asked me yesterday if I could find a couple of lost items for her.
And I said, well, I can tell you where I think they are. I said, but I cannot guarantee that they will be there. Okay? I mean, I have had success with it in the past, but I can't guarantee that they would actually be there. And I told her that I believe the crystal that she lost was in a bedside cabinet and it was pushed right up against the front of the door because it was apparently a long, thin crystal. The wallet she lost, I described a certain shelf and told her exactly, you know, it was painted blue and it had angles at the side and it was in her larder, and I believe the wallet was on top of that. And she said, yes, she recognised the shelf as I've described it, and it was in her larder. So she went home to have a look, but so far I haven't seen her today, so I don't know. I don't know whether it was right or not. How did I start doing it, or how did I first know I could do it? Quite by accident. I was doing a psychic fair in London, and I was talking to a friend who was selling things there, and this guy came up and he started being a bit of a pest, and he kept saying, oh, if you're so good, he said, you know, tell me something that I can't possibly know and all this, and he kept on and on. And then just suddenly, I was in his bedroom. No, not literally. Not literally. My mind was in his bedroom, but not in a nasty way. And I described to him everything that was in his bedroom. I went right round from the door, from one side, right round, back down to the door, and described every single item that was in his bedroom and where it was. And he looked so shocked, and he went white, and he didn't bother me again. And that was the first time I realised I could actually do it. Since then, it's happened in a lot of ways. I was doing an anatomy and physiology exam, and I knew the answer to the question, but I wasn't sure if it was one thing or another. So I went into what I call my library. I took the book off the shelf, I opened it to the page and read. Was that really? Was it cheating? Was it really cheating? I can't really say. Because it was only my mind that did it. Okay? And it was only one question, honestly. Other times I've used it for solving things like murders, things like that. I had a particularly traumatic experience once. There'd been a murder about 11 years old before I moved. 11 years before I moved to Sheffield. Sorry, and I didn't know anything about it. And at the time, I'd taken my dog for a walk, and I'd gone across to the brook. And at the time, I was having problems with my eyes. I had cataracts and didn't realise I had cataracts at the time, but I was getting a lot of blurred vision. And I started to walk down the pathway, and a bird flew out of the bush and scared the crap out of me, basically. And I suddenly got this really strange feeling, and I thought, something's wrong here. And instead of actually walking back home with the dog, I walked towards home and then turned around and went back down another pathway and thought, what am I doing here? I had no idea why I was there or what purpose it served. Anyway, I came home and I said to my partner, I had a very strange feeling that day. And he said, well, there's been a young lad on Sheffield Forum who has been asking if anybody's got information about his mother who was murdered. And apparently this was in that area. And I didn't really look into it. I just made a mental note that when I had something done about my eyes, I'd go back and have another look. Anyway, about 4 or 5 years later, back in 2008, a private investigator phoned me up and said, would I help with a murder? And I said, yeah, I'm happy to do that. I said, but I can't promise that I'll get anything, because I said, I never know what's going to happen. And she said, no, that's fine. And she came and picked me up in the car, and as we were walking across to the brook, she said to me, she said something to me, and I said, oh, I hope he doesn't live local. I said, I might be his next victim, right? And that was just, you know, me being a bit flippant. Anyway, we went to where I'd had a problem with the dog, and she said, where do you want to go now? And I said, I want to go down there. And it'd been raining for about 3 days, and I nearly lost my shoes because I was sunk in mud. We got down near the brook, and she said to me, what are you getting now? And then just suddenly, it wasn't me anymore. I could see this through the girl's eyes. And I was looking down on myself, and I had a flowery dress on, and the private investigator, I can just hear her saying to me, and what's happening next? And I said, she's walking along the path, and she's walking with this man, and I described the man. I told him what age he would be in present day, and she said, what's happening? And I said, he's saying, don't worry, you know me. And she says, and what's he doing now? And I said, he's pulling her down the embankment, and he's got her against that tree there. I said, he's holding her by the throat. And I said, and he's feeling in his pocket. And she said, and what's he doing? And I said, he's got a knife. And she asked me, I won't go into complete detail because it was quite horrendous. And she said, what's he doing now? And I said, he's got to make sure she's dead. Right? And there was a lot of problems, there was mutilations and goodness knows what else, but as I said, I won't go into complete detail. Then I told her how he'd put her against the, like there was a kind of a grill on the brook. He put her against that, and then somebody else had helped him put a mattress over the top. And then she said, where's he going now? And I said, he's gone back up the pathway, and he stopped to talk to a woman with a dog. And I told the investigator where he lived, and also where this woman with the dog lived. And it turned out he lived diagonally opposite my house, which not good. But the whole thing was thrown out because obviously they don't take the evidence of a medium as admissible, and they also, she questioned the woman with the dog without a policeman present, so it's threw the case straight out. So the man is still living about. So he'd been let go twice. He'd been let go for that murder. He'd been questioned about that murder and let go twice, and he'd also been questioned about rape because they put the victim in the same car as him. So yeah, so that was one of my worst experiences of it because for all intents and purposes, it was me it was happening to. The thing with remote viewing is, as I said, it can be a little bit hit and miss. I mean, sometimes it can be so accurate, you know, it blows your mind. At times, it can be very, very bitty. But it is quite an interesting thing, and I have no idea how it came about with me. As I said, it just happened, and I've had so much proof with it over the years that, you know, it's just become part and parcel of what I do. I am a qualified teacher, and I do run psychic development groups, etc., etc. I can teach anybody how to astral project, so I can teach anybody how to connect to spirit, I can teach anybody, you know, how to work in a psychic manner, but I cannot, for the life of me, teach anybody how to do remote viewing because I have not got a clue how to start. we have tried with asking them to draw pictures of things that are in somebody else's house, and it's, you know, it just hasn't worked. So I have no idea, as I said, how on earth I could actually explain it any better than that. But if anybody's got any questions, then I'm very happy to answer them. Right, you had your hand up first, so yes.
Could you have a difference between astral projection and marine?
Right, okay. Astral projection. You are actually projecting your astral body into another place, right? And that can be done either in waking hours or in sleeping hours, with the proper, you know, proper development, proper instruction. And usually you go through a process of leaving where you are, going out through the roof, usually flying, I'll say flying for want of a better word, to the place you're going to astrally project to, and then coming down into that place and having a look around. Remote viewing, there's none of that. It's just your mind is projected. Okay? So there's none of the, you know, the leaving the body or things like that. It's your mind is just literally projected to a place. And if I'm including it as part of a mediumship demonstration, which often I do, I'm usually connected to the person and bringing through someone from spirit for them, and then suddenly it is instant. I'm there in whatever room it is, looking at particular things. So it's not something I've got a major control over.
Welcome everybody. My name's Jan Muse. I'm from Magical Muse Holistics. There's only me. It sounds like there's a few of us, but it's me. I do everything. Today I'm here to talk about holy fire, Usui holy fire Reiki, and to share with you an experience of what it actually feels like, which is amazing. I love it. This is my 2022 marks my 25th anniversary of working with the Reiki energy. So it's like, it's a little bit special. So who else does Reiki? I've got one on one. Yeah, so lots of us. Great. When I first did my first Reiki training, it was, well, I met my master teacher at one of these events, one of Eric's events. So it's kind of, as well, it's kind of like, a little bit emotional. I'm alright, I won't cry. But yeah, so it's, you know, it's everything sort of just comes back round again. So Usui Holy Fire is based on Dr. Usui's work, but brought into the here and now. It's updated by an American gentleman called William L. Grant and some other people. Has anybody heard of William's work? Yeah? Some of you will probably have him, so if you do Reiki, you might have him in your lineage. He has dedicated his life to Reiki and to following Dr. Usui's work and building on it. I mean, if anybody knows the story of Dr. Usui, he came up with this system of Reiki, but then he didn't actually live that long afterwards. But he did start the process of people passing it on to each other. And then William has spent all his life, his whole life really, dedicated to Reiki. Holy Fire is an update of the original Usui. When I was offered to update my Usui Reiki, I was a bit like, well, how can it be any better? How can it be any different? You know, it is what it is. And I really had a strong resistance to the Holy Fire. And I think for me, the word holy kind of put me off of it. And excuse me if it's, I don't mean to offend anybody, but organised religion has never been for me. You know, I wasn't brought up with any religion, and I'm happy for anybody to believe what they believe, you know, but it just, the word holy didn't sort of kind of fit with me. I've since discovered it was something to do with my childhood and that word. So anyway, eventually I did it, and I was like, oh, now I get it. Now I get it. So it's the Reiki for now, in my opinion. It is, I work with the Karuna system, which is also from William L. Rand. And that's got 8 symbols, plus the Holy Fire symbol. So what I'm going to share with you today is, it's called a healing in the river of peace experience. So we all need some peace. The world needs peace. You know, it's in, everybody can experience this. Doesn't matter, you don't have to know anything, do anything. All you need to do is literally just sit and receive. So I'm guessing, as you're all here, if anybody's not comfortable with that, sitting and receiving, it would be best if you go now. Welcome. And I've got no judgment, but I'm glad no one's getting up. They're like, oh, why? Yeah, so that's all you have to do. So I'll just, the William Rand, the American master teacher, he's dedicated his life. I'll just show you. He's so, his training is intense, and it's very, I've seen some Reiki students come away with a few pieces of paper when they've done their Reiki training. It upsets me. It upsets me. These are the sort of manuals you get if you do your Reiki training with someone like me who's a registered teacher at the International Centre for Reiki Training. So these are the sort of manuals that you get. That's your first and second degree manual. I'm just showing you these so you can see that it's, you know, it's good stuff. It's not just a few words written on a bit of paper. That's your master manual. And there's a big difference with that's the Karuna. So they're nice size manuals, lots of information, and the website's great, reiki.org, if you want to have a look. So I'll just put it back in. I usually have the table, but I don't have one today. So yes, so Holy Fire. It's a good modality. The difference, what I was going to say, sorry, I got distracted, was the Usui Reiki. As a Usui Reiki master teacher, the attunements were done by placing, the Reiki master would place their hands, and this still works. I'm not discrediting the original Usui Reiki because it is a beautiful energy and it still works, but for me personally, mine's the Holy Fire. By placing their hands on top of the student's head, drawing symbols, blowing, putting things in there, putting the symbols in their hands, lifting the hands up, lifting them down. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The difference with the Holy Fire and the way that it's passed is the Reiki master steps out of the way, and it's now ignitions and placements. So the placements are for Reiki 1, Reiki 2, and the ignitions are for the master training. And I literally start calling in the energy of the Holy Fire, and it comes straight from source, rather than me getting in the way. hell of a lot easier to teach as well, I must admit. It's beautiful. So this is how the experience will work for you. I will start the process, and it's going to come from the highest heaven, the highest source of love. So I don't have to go around and touch anybody or anything like that. In fact, I will sit down. So everybody okay with that? Yeah? So before we start, I'd like you to imagine that there is a beautiful mountain range. High, high up in the heavens. And the waters there are clear and sparkling. And when you see them, you feel, oh, this is something special. Something special. And as they trickle down these beautiful mountains, the ice and the snow at the top of the mountains begins to melt, bringing its magic, bringing its energy from that highest source, bringing it down, 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 into the rivers, into the streams and into the oceans of this land. It's magic. It's a thing of beauty. So I'd like you all to imagine now that you are outside. Oh, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's autumn. If you'd all like to close your eyes if you haven't already. It's a beautiful autumnal day. The leaves are turning into their beautiful, vibrant colours. And you are standing underneath one of these huge trees. And you take one more deep breath with that tree. And you feel that energy in your breath, the energy of nature. And you feel that energy travelling down your throat into your lungs, into your tummy, down, down, down your legs and into Mother Earth. And as you take the next breath, you imagine that you have roots growing from the soles of your feet. Big, strong roots. Twisting, turning, pushing deeper and deeper. Feeling that nurture coming from Mother Earth. Deep within. And take a breath in through your roots and breathe some of that energy in. Feel it travelling up through your body. With each breath, breathing some more of that energy from the mother beneath us. And turn your face up to the sky. And feel the energy of the air and the sky above us. And bring that energy in. And then I'd like you to imagine as you are stood beneath this beautiful strong tree that the leaves begin to fall with their beautiful colours floating down, showing you, showing us what it is to let go of what no longer serves us. And I'd like you to bring something to your mind, something that you know is holding you back. Maybe it's something that you think about yourself. And make sure it's to do with you, rather than letting go of somebody who might be causing you problems. Something to do with you. Just bring it to your mind and then let it go. Please don't dwell on it. Just have something in mind. Suddenly, a path lights up, leading you into a beautiful forest. And you begin to follow this path. Each footstep brings you closer and closer to Mother Earth. And you feel the pulsing of energy through your feet, coming up through the soles of your feet. We have a belief that we are all separate. Indeed we are. But we are also one with all who dwell here on Mother Earth. And as you follow this path that is lit up before you, welcoming you, looking forward to seeing you in the woods just in front.
Okay, welcome. One of the things we do apart from shamanic, we also do what's called higher order. We do it on the first and second Monday in the month, and tomorrow night will be a little bit like tonight, this afternoon, although there's more instruments. And we do a higher order channeled sound bath. Now we call it higher order because we use high frequencies, varying frequencies of sound, and we don't use a native shamanic. So today we've just brought, we were having Darren with us, unfortunately he's got another appointment, so this has not seen the light of day for 4 years because we don't have any sunlight at Shack. We're a night club, so it got very excited when we had to watch this together last night. And so Julia has brought her foot singing bowl, which is a bowl that you stand in for healing. We've been loaned a crystal harp, which is set in what's called a solfeggio, so it's got the DNA frequencies and frequencies like that. And a couple of crystal singing bowls, which were actually out of our little shop, which was sold, but we just borrowed them for today. We don't know what will come out, I've no idea. So all I ask is that your phones are switched off, because people go very deep as a rule with the higher order channeling. And if somebody's phone goes off, we did have one lady actually, her phone went off in a sound bath, and it was heavy metal music. And she answered it and said, "Sorry, I can't talk now, we're doing a sound bath." It was like, you know. So wherever this journey, this energy takes you, I have no idea. When we're at Shack, we lay. If you look on our website and talk to Kat about all that kind of thing, because I'm rubbish at it. This is Kat. And she understands all the Facebook stuff. So basically we channel in a grid, and we lay a full grid with crystals in specific shapes and sacred geometry that we have channeled. Each one of you know the circuit boards that you get like little valves and little bits of solder on and things like that. You'll see them, us older generation, inside things. That each one of you is like a part of that circuitry. So when we do a channeling, you're meant to be here for a reason, because your frequency is unique to every individual on the planet. No one else is like you. You are unique. So wherever you go, you are part of the collective. You're interconnected with everybody, the universe, Mother Earth. So we'll just go with it and see where it goes. Okay. So just close your eyes, please. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. And as you're breathing in and out, I'd like you to visualize under your feet a large silver silver disc. It moves up from Mother Earth like liquid metal, and it begins to rise up, moving under your feet, forming a full disc of protection under everyone here. As you're breathing in and out, be aware of your earth star beneath your feet begins to open up. The energies of Mother Earth in a new fifth dimensional frequency begin to rise. All the way through your base chakra, your sacrum. Your third solar plexus, your heart, fourth, your throat chakra, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as the 11th chakra begins to vibrate, the 4-pointed star high in the universe begins to move forward towards your highest chakra of 39. These higher chakras are not yet functioning, but are being prepared for the 6th or 7th dimension. See this 4-pointed starlight begin to emit a beautiful violet ray of energy. This energy moves out like a large dome and begins to encompass our circle, all the way behind you, connecting to the silver disc beneath your feet. At all times you are perfectly safe and secure. At any point you feel uncomfortable, bring yourself back to your physical breath. Being aware of your physical body breathing in and out. Be aware of the energies in your heart chakra beginning to expand. Each one of you has a diamond white light within your heart, but also the Christ light energy of the rose gold. For a few moments, focus on your heart chakra, allowing this energy to expand. Beings of high light, angelic masters, now begin to join us. We invite the Hathors, Arcturians, Galactic Council, and all beings of high vibrational light to assist everyone here. Allowing each individual to grow and expand in a high frequency of light and sound. As your physical body breathes in and out, the energy within your heart begins to expand further and further, brighter and brighter, as your true self begins to make itself present, expanding from the physical form. You may see yourself as a multitude of colours. You may experience tingling, hot, cold, perhaps a little sickly. This is quite normal. Perhaps a little heavy. This is quite normal, like breathing in and out as the energy grows stronger and stronger. See yourself now as a bright, bright starlight of diamond light and golden rose light. See your own field expanding beyond the center, further and further. Allow your physical body to breathe in and out of this energy at the highest level. You may remain within this physical form, and beings of high light will come to you. Or you may, if you wish, bring your higher self or your soul energy from your physical form. Those of you familiar with the Merkaba will see the Merkaba in front of you as we are all born in one. This is like a pyramid slotted into a pyramid, so it forms a star shape with many points. You may remain within your physical form, or step forward into your Merkaba. The choices are yours. From the centre of the quatrain now, a bright pillar of light begins to beam down to our sacred space. You can see this, sense it, and feel it in your heart chakra may increase in vibration. You operate by free will. At any point, you may retreat or continue. Whichever form you have chosen, Merkaba or higher self, physical energy, visualize yourself now moving into the shaft of highlight. The shaft of highlight is in the centre of the circle. See yourself moving forward, should you so wish, into the shaft of light. If you wish to remain in your physical form, healing beings will come and assist you. Raphael, Raziel, Haniel, and other angels and high beings will assist you with healing when you move forward into the beam of light. At all times you are safe. As you move through to the beam of light, your higher chakras begin now to open. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20th, 21st and 22nd. We will alt at the 22nd day. As your physical body breathes in and out the energies, your higher self, your soul, is now within the beam of light. Within this beam of light, you begin to rise upwards towards the eye of the quatrain. The quatrain is a gateway to other dimensions of time and space. When you reach the eye of the quatrain, you will be met by an ascended master and a being of high light, one that connects to your soul energies, one connects up to your soul's energies, to whatever dimension of time and space your living soul came from. Many portals and doorways will open, and you may choose to travel through these or you remain where you are. Moving up through the shaft of light to the eye of the quatrain, who meeting you and who is greeting you. Give your honor and respect and allow them to take you wherever it is that you need to go.
Well, we are at the end of day 2. It's been a blast. It's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed it today. What's been your highlight? We've seen some brilliant demonstrations today. What's been your highlight today?
Well, I love the drumming today, didn't I? I sneaked off and
you got involved with that.
I did. Yeah, I've got the bruises to prove it as well.
Oh, yeah. So
Julie's been shiners there.
Julie's been drumming.
Djembe drumming.
Yeah. Phil's been on a meditation, and he's obviously, quite high there with the energy.
Jan Muse. I love Jan Muse.
That was exceptional.
And
talk,
Angela.
Angie.
Yeah.
From Phoenix Flames.
That was a good talk.
Brilliant. All about spell casting that, and I love that one.
And the remote
come away
viewing
with some really good ideas. Yeah. Remote viewing.
That was
fascinating. She was telling us. So that was Brenda.
Some different ones this time, wasn't it?
Brenda was talking about how she's supported with unsolved murder cases and things like that through remote viewing. So really fascinating. Some really fascinating demonstrations today.
Yeah. What's been your highlight then, Glenn?
Mine, I kind of enjoyed Brenda's talk. A combination of all of them, really. I mean, obviously I'm biased with the drumming because straight away you had me when you said drumming, you know what I mean?
Did I? Yeah.
But,
captive audience.
That kind of woke me up the first thing this morning, and I just love the way that was demonstrated,
Very high energy.
Everybody could get involved, whether you had any musical abilities or not.
Yeah.
And I like the way that he broke down the structure of timing and the beats and everything, and everybody could do it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, really, really.
So yeah, I mean, this weekend's been completely different to the other two that we've been on, hasn't it?
Different vibe again.
Yeah, there's been more to learn, I feel, and it's been almost personalised to the clients, to the people that are coming. I feel everybody was interacting in the classes there, one in the demonstration, should I say? So
I think there was a lot of laughter, and people really getting involved. I think it's what people need at the moment, and hopefully that will reflect in the footage that we've taken.
Yeah, definitely.
Visually and audibly.
I'd gone there because I was looking at these white things and
I keep seeing those.
Why do I keep seeing this stuff like snow
floating around?
But then I remembered about Angela's talking how she uses different water, and I thought for the sprays that they make, and they use snow water when they can get it, or ice water, or storm water, and different waters
elements.
that they use.
Seasons,
So really fascinating, some really fascinating information today. I've loved it. I've loved this weekend.
And you can never stop learning at these type of events, really. You know, whatever your faith or your beliefs, and,
I just enjoy, what beautiful souls the contributors are to give their time freely and openly and share their wisdom that would have maybe been collated over like several years, 10 odd years.
Yeah.
And to just sit there, be in that moment with them and embrace that wisdom from them is such a blessing, isn't it?
Yeah. I was gonna say what we're grateful for, and I was gonna say I am actually grateful today for being around people like that who are able to share their experiences and share and share their experiences with each other, and so grateful for that community that we are able to do that.
Yeah, well, it helps everybody, doesn't it, ultimately, and we can all help each other and build each other up there.
Yeah.
Quite literally, full circle, isn't it, really, when you think about it?
Yeah. So, anyway, it's getting cold.
It is, so we hope you've enjoyed this.
We're going to hop off and sign
episode.
Hop off?
Yeah.
Julie's
She's been mad already.
You've not finished.
All right, I haven't finished.
So we've got. There are. I mean, we're just about to go into the last, aren't we? With Angie, and so you're going to get your T-shirt off.
I am, yeah.
She is dressed underneath.
She's on with it right
Nearly,
now.
right now. If I hadn't got a microphone attached, I would,
Fab. Thank you.
On that note, we're going to go.
Thanks
We'll
for
see you
tuning
all
in.
very soon.
Bye-bye.
See ya.